You got to be into beer to know what that is.
And Nate, what do we do with these? Go ahead and have a seat, bro.
Those you eat them.
We eat them? Have you ever had one of these?
No.
I don't know. What is this?
It looks like a Jello shot.
Do you want one to start it off?
You're gonna take one.
Guayaba margarita, or lemon margarita, or hold on. But wait, there's more. Lime margarita. You have lemon, lime, or guava.
I'll do lime.
Here's a lime for you, and I'm doing.
Oh, they're cold. That's cool.
Yeah, he comes prepared, and guava gelatin. Now, is there a certain way we need to do these without looking like very?
Yeah. I think you're supposed to finger it.
Here, why don't you take one with us, Nate?
I think it's probably better if you finger
Stand
it
over
into your
here
mouth
so I can see
rather
it.
than kind of.
You're gonna finger what?
I mean, I'm
Here,
definitely
look,
gonna
look.
finger. I'm not gonna suck it out. I'll tell you that right
You're gonna bet.
Oh, ooh. What do we do?
Just give it a little pinch.
Pinch.
No, I'm joking.
What?
Just fucking eat it, man.
Salud.
Cheers, guys.
Mm.
All right. Yeah, you can actually taste the tequila in there.
It is.
Bro, these
Yeah.
are so strong. They're good though.
They're good.
What do I do with all that?
Come on.
All
You
right.
got a deja vu.
You're a nasty
boy.
pepper. Thank you, my man. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Let's finish that bucket.
Oh my God,
I
are
don't
you
know
kidding me?
about that.
I don't think we're doing that tonight.
I'm-
Tiki Tone, go ahead and
I'm
grab
down
that microphone.
I'm down if you are.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jimmy. I'm with Tropicana Golf. My guest tonight on Tropicana Talks is the one, the only Mr. Tiki Tone. Tiki Tone is a member of the Tropicana Players Club for a very, very long time. He has his family involved and his friends involved. We have a great time playing golf. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to get into Mr. Tiki Tone and who he is and what he is. But before you do that, we're going to start this the way we always do, with a toast to Frankie from Michelada Golf and Michelada's Antojitos. And
Love you, Frankie.
of course, our pal that you just saw, Mr. Nate from San Dimas Liquor and Freeway Liquor, for bringing us the good stuff. We got
Excited.
Gran Malo Tequila, which he says he can't keep in stock. I believe it. It's a spicy tamarindo liqueur made with tequila. It's absolutely marvelous. We're going to have a couple beers. We're going to have a couple shots. We're going to talk. It's going to be great. And it's all coming up right after this.
Yeah.
Look at that. I think you're supposed to pour this a little slower so it doesn't get all the foam.
Definitely.
You tilt your cup, bro. What is this? Stone Buena Vista.
They're
Oh, I've
pretty
had
good.
this.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Salt lime lager.
They already have lime and salt in them.
Well, now we're putting a little bit more salt and a little bit more lime, courtesy of Michelada's Antojito.
Antojitos.
And Frankie says we just sprinkle the top. Frankie says he doesn't use the entire packet.
I don't usually.
I don't
use
either.
it either.
Whoops. But what I do is I'll save a little bit, and then what I do is when it gets kind of like towards the bottom,
Yeah.
I refill it.
That sounds
Salud.
good. Salud.
Cheers. Thank you, Nate. Also,
Thank you, Nate. Yummy.
oh my
Very
God,
yummy.
that's so good. You know, every time we do one of these things, I taste the drink, and for some reason, Nate, it always tastes like those chamoy lollipops.
Yeah.
What is that? Is
I
that what
think
we
it's
do
the
here?
tahine. I think it's the tahine on the rim.
It's so good.
yeah.
It's like those pineapple lollipops that you buy. Do you sell those, Nate? Please tell me you sell them.
I'm a big fan of all those Mexican candy.
If you are ever
candies.
tamarindo candy, it's like, because it's salty and like kind of spicy at first, and then you hit the sweet, and it's
Yep.
like boom, you're on the freeway coasting.
That's all Mexican candy. Salty, sweet, spicy,
I love it. Are you a fan of Mexican candy?
big time.
You're
yeah.
somewhat Mexican, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely a mutt. I have more than half Mexican on both sides. Then
More
some
than
Native
half.
American, some Irish, some Swedish.
That's a lot.
Yeah, married into a Sicilian family.
So when somebody asks you what you are, is there a clear-cut definition?
I just say I'm a mutt, or I give an answer that fits the scenario I'm in. You know,
You
kind of a chameleon.
you
Actually.
blend in.
I blend in.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about Tiki Tone. Tiki Tone is our guest tonight. And before we go, I think we need to address Tiki Tone. Like,
Yeah.
tell me, I've just always called you Tiki Tone because that's what was told to me, and I love that name. So Why Tiki Tone?
I think it was when I moved out of downtown and
Downtown
we bought-
LA?
Downtown LA. Yeah, I lived there for 8 years. I was DJing there, and my DJ name was Tone 2, like Tone TOO, Tone also. And moving here, I don't know, I just felt like I needed kind of a rebirth or something. And I've always loved tiki bars. I think I just came back from like Tiki Tea in Echo Park or something. And just the whole, tiki lifestyle. So
The
I
tiki
just went with
lifestyle,
Tiki Tone.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that resonates with people because a lot of people love tiki.
Yes.
A lot of people. I love it. I'm not like huge on it because I haven't researched it and like learned about it, but the art is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the art, and like there's like a vibe. It's like a very chill, just like undercover vibe. And it always seems like tiki bars are like speakeasy, kind of like these little places, and it's dark and like there's
you kind of have to know about it. It's kind of, you have to be in the know. And I mean, I think it's right up your alley because I feel like a tiki culture kind of got popular mid-century.
For sure.
The whole mid-century modern quality of it also fits in with Tropicana. So I think they kind of go hand in hand.
I love that. And I've researched more about it, and I just created something just on a whim called the Tropicana Cocktail Club, and it's this tiki mug of, the face.
Yeah.
And it's like a mug. And I was like, this is so cool.
That's cool.
That's a cool cocktail type environment.
Yeah.
It's a good way to go. Do you have a tiki cocktail that you?
There's a few that I really like. If I feel like getting completely out of my mind, probably a painkiller.
Is that what it's
that
called?
one's one of the more
I've heard
stronger
of
drinks. And those usually, most tiki bars will have a limit. It's like 2 of those per person. But I mean, I'll go for anything like a Blue Hawaiian, classic Mai Tai. I mean, even if it's just pineapple juice and a really good rum or just a really good rum on the rocks.
It's big in rum.
Most of the drinks are rum based. Yeah.
Is there something called a penicillin shot?
Yeah, kind
Is
of.
that
And
tiki?
it is similar to like the painkiller. I've seen a penicillin shot on tiki bar menus, but I think that there's variations that are not necessarily tiki. I think it's just a really strong drink that's supposed to kill anything that's in your system.
Which could come in handy after a night of drinking with
and bad mistakes and
bad
things like
mistakes
that.
and people that are less.
Tropicana members.
Yeah, you said it. Hey, listen, but your shirt is kind of tiki. I like the flower, flowered print. Very Hawaii.
I thought it was on brand.
It's
I was trying
perfect.
to match your energy with the suit. And
I
make
love
nice,
it. I love it. You got the
wanted to
wingtips.
have my own flavor to it.
You. What do you think, Nate? 10 out of 10? Best dressed guest?
Ooh. I like
11
that.
out of
Thank
10.
You. Appreciate
I think you've won the best
I think
dressed award.
my wife
for now.
and my brother and sister-in-law will all appreciate that. Because
Everybody
I walked around
did?
the house and got the okay from all of them.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
You guys all deserve a gold star. If I had gold stars, I'd pass them out, but I don't. It looks like you have a gold star.
It's a gold nugget, actually. It was
It's a
my
gold nugget.
grandfather's.
I love that thing.
Yeah.
That's a good touch right there.
Yeah.
I have a pin too, but it just says Tropicana.
I have that pin too. The very first tournament I came out to by myself 4 years ago. It was in Pasadena.
Brookside?
Brookside.
Okay.
And you had a table and you were selling stuff, but I was like, hey, are those pins for free? You're like, not really, but go ahead and take them. And I was like, all right, cool. And I still have it, and it's on one of my hats that I wear.
That's
awesome.
that's my MO with business. I go, it's for sale, but take it. So that's good. You have one. But these are specifically now for tournament winners, which you are one.
I am one.
You won the Alhambra tournament.
I did.
With your best round ever.
Yep.
Do you remember what you shot?
It was an 83.
An 83. And that was over a year ago. It was in August of 2023.
No, I think it was 2.
Well, we're in 24 now. And you won last year. So if my math is right.
Did we go to Rams Hill this past January? I thought it was last January.
No, it was this
okay.
It wasn't January. It was December. We're going again this weekend.
Okay.
So we go right around this time, around opening weekend of Rams Hill, which is out in Borrego Springs. Marvelous golf course.
One of the best.
Unbelievable. Southern California, just 10 out of 10. You're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you remember getting there. It was just like you rode with me.
Yeah.
Manolo was with us.
That's correct.
That's 100%. That was last year. So we went last year. And we were driving, and then we finally got there. We rented that big house. We're staying at that same house again this year.
That house is the shit.
It's awesome, right?
It's really, really
Did you
cool.
get in that jacuzzi?
Yeah, dude, that was
Yeah.
just a bunch of fat boys. It was like a sausage boil in there.
Hey, listen, if you're going this year and you're watching this because you have a couple days, bring a pair of trunks.
Yes.
Because you don't want to pull an Aaron Jimenez
Yes,
and get in there.
in your
Oh,
chon-chons.
he was in his chonies
Yeah.
with 7 liters of whiskey. Him and Mike O'Neill were just marinating.
Yeah, I was with them. At the end of the night, it was just us 3. I think I called it before they did, but I remember getting out and the jacuzzi was like less than halfway full by the time we all got out of there that weekend.
It was like a boiling soup.
It
You know,
was
you take the
disgusting,
chicken
yeah.
out of the soup and all the water just goes.
Exactly. Like deep frying a turkey or something like that.
Happy Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's actually happening this weekend. So to go back to that, in order to get to Rams Hill, which is the finale of the summer series, in order to get to Rams Hill, you have to be a tournament winner. And you won Alhambra with your best score ever. And you got a trip to Rams Hill to play in the finale. And that place it's magical. Like, you don't expect anything that beautiful to be in the middle of a desert.
True.
Because everything is just rock and sand and dirt and mountain. And then all of a sudden, there's just this oasis.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And it's perfectly done. It is a massive golf course. Like you play around here. Like, let's say you go to San Dimas or whatever. At some points, you can see the entire golf course.
Yes.
You know, you get up on the number 1 tee, you can see at least 7 or 8 holes,
Yeah.
right? This thing, you can stand on the highest mountain and see only the hole you're playing and nothing else. And you just keep going and you go out and out and out into the desert. And then all of a sudden you make the turn and you're still way out there. And then you have like the little taco shop that they have.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the tacos.
They give you free tacos
I was
at
drunk
like
by
the
that point.
12th or 13th hole. It's just...
They were great tacos too.
They were. And it's this detachment from life. Like, you just go out there and I don't even know if cell phones work. I can't really remember, but I don't see them probably working very well. But
Enough.
it's unbelievable, man. Like, every time I go out there, I get excited because it's just detachment. There's no traffic. There's no people. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. You just go to this house. You stay at the house. You go play golf. You go back to the house. We got people that come in and cook, and we have cigars, and we're in the jacuzzi and playing cards. Did you play cards with us?
Yeah, we played cards. I would think everybody left owed some money.
Owed?
Everybody was owed money.
Owed some money. So
And
yeah,
that
you
was a
tell
mess
that
for a while,
story.
but shout out to Aaron Jimenez. He ended up paying everyone back.
what was okay? So explain. I remember kind of what happened, but how did he get in that mess of being wherever he was?
Someone suggested playing blackjack.
Okay.
He offered to be the dealer. And everyone right off the bat told him that that's a bad idea because if he loses, he's going to owe everyone money.
Sure.
He was like, well, the house never loses. I'm not worried about that. And like within 20, 30 minutes, he owed everybody like $60, $80, $100 plus. I think it was Carrie that just kept letting it ride and then doubling down and splitting everything. And I think he like came up like $400 or something
He kept
crazy.
telling himself and us, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's going to turn.
Yeah.
And it never turned.
Yeah, it never did.
I don't understand why that doesn't happen in Las Vegas. Could it be, first of all, we had like 6 people playing.
At one point, yeah.
So maybe
more.
there's a breaking point in Las Vegas. Maybe there's science where it's like, you never see a table of 6 players. You see 4 players.
True.
Or I think maybe 5 spots. So maybe that's what it is. They've figured out that if 4 people play, the dealer will win more. And we had too many. And maybe that 5th card is always the magic one.
Yeah.
Because he got...
You also
BS'd.
almost never see a single deck, and I think that's a great disadvantage to the dealer if he's playing with a single deck. So it was ugly, but yeah,
I
he
couldn't
made
believe
amends and took care of everyone eventually.
I could not believe that he just kept losing. Like, it was unbelievable. I've never seen that. I mean, we were hitting on 18 just to make him feel better, and we'd get 21.
That's right.
Carrie hit 18.
That's right.
And got 21 for like $250. And I just remember seeing Aaron like, oh no. Like, what did I do? That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's Rams Hill. Let's talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
You're a Glendora resident from years past.
Yeah, I graduated Glendora High.
What year was that?
03.
Okay.
Yeah, you and I actually, I feel like practiced together at one point. I was on JV when you were on varsity football.
Okay.
I vaguely remember you in high school.
Okay.
But yeah, I graduated Glendora High.
Do you remember Nate? Nate was the guy in the parking lot selling dope.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or no, Nate, you're still here? Nate's on the phone. He didn't hear that. He was selling Pokemon cards, not dope.
And Plan B pills.
Okay, so you're Glendora resident, played football. Were you ever involved in any kind of golf at that age?
I was introduced to golf at a young age, maybe 7 or 8. You know, my dad, Art.
Yeah,
Art. He would take me golfing. But I think it became, he only had so many days to golf.
Sure.
It was like, I don't have the patience to try to teach you how to play,
Sure,
and I
sure,
wasn't
sure.
very good.
Right.
So it became maybe a once or twice a year thing with the cousins or the brothers or what have you. And even like as I got into high school, it was just something that our friends and I would do to go hang out outside and
Sure.
go smoke weed. I think our senior ditch day, we went to Marshall Canyon, played golf, and smoked weed all day. But it didn't become a serious thing until like most of the guys in Trop, which was during COVID.
Sure.
When I moved back here, and always had some set of clubs on me. But
Right.
I think I looked up a barber shop, and this was the top choice. And then I saw that it was also a golf club, and I was very intrigued by that. And
Cool.
kind of just started golfing again, both with this club and then some local friends that I had that at that point started playing more golf.
Right.
And then it just, ballooned from there and just started playing a lot more.
So it wasn't something that you grew up doing, but Art, which is your dad, has always played.
Yes.
Art's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's
He,
gotten better too.
He's gotten better.
Yeah.
He lost weight.
He lost weight, and he's just a
Oh,
killer
man.
out there now.
I love Art. Art's a very good dude, and he's also a Tropicana Players Club member and a really, really good guy. So it's not something that, like I said, you've been doing your whole life. You jumped back in at COVID with a little understanding of the game, but not much experience.
Correct.
And once you got into the club, it's not that you're forced to play. It just we facilitate you being able to play more.
Way more opportunity.
Yeah.
I think, the tournaments were intimidating at first.
For
I
sure.
wasn't too excited to do the first tournament. And then after I did the first tournament, I had such a poor performance. It took me another 8 months to play in another tournament. But I think the most intriguing part was the Facebook group, and
Yeah.
everybody. And back then, it's not so much anymore
Right.
now, but back then, almost every day, there was someone looking for players.
For sure.
Someone had a game. Someone had, here's a tee time for 4. I need 2 guys. And so that was a good way to just get out and play with guys that kind of had your same mindset. Some guys were good. Some guys weren't very good. But everybody went into it like, I'm going to meet somebody that there's probably going to be pretty cool, and it's going to be a relaxing game.
I think at that point, everybody was, remember, this started in 2020. So 2020, 2021, it was still fairly new, and people were still looking for people, right? Their people per
Correct.
se.
Yeah.
They hadn't met their friends yet. So now that there's groups, and they're big groups,
Yeah,
people have formed these 12, 18, 20 member friendships, and they're not opposed to like if you put something tomorrow and said, hey, listen, I'm having my birthday party on this day. I have 12 spots. You'd fill it instantly.
Yeah,
Instantly. So that's still a thing. I think people I'll tell you what it is. People have gone back to work. Everybody was working from home
it's
and
gotta
could
be a
sneak
part of
out
it.
at any point during the day and be like, hey, I'll go at 2:00. Let's go play.
Yeah.
Now they're back in the office and it's a little bit harder, but there's still just today, Bruce just sent something a little while ago that said,
that, yeah.
I have 3 spots tomorrow at California Country Club. And now the stakes are getting a little bit higher where it's like, we're not playing Whittier Narrows anymore. Now it's
Yeah.
California Country Club or Glendora or, Via. There's different abilities to play at different locations, and it's fun. And when I first did this, I was looking for what you're looking for, and it's just more people to play with.
Yeah.
The ironic part of it is I'm playing less because every time you guys play, I don't get to play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really wanted to be I really wanted to play in tournaments without the pressure of like an SCGA or a USGA tournament where I was like, I'm going to get fucking smoked. Like, I'm not good. So I'm going to get hammered, and not in a drunk way, but in a score way. And I'm going to be embarrassed. But what we've done is we've taken the professionalism out of the game and made it an amateur game where if you shoot 107 at a tournament, nobody's going to bat an eye.
No.
And in fact, they're not bad. They're okay with you shooting 107 because you're not competing with them.
Exactly.
They want you to not shoot 67. But if you do shoot 67, they'll congratulate you and be like, hey, congratulations, you did a great job.
Well, and the cool thing is the longer you play with Tropicana guys, the more tournaments you play, you see guys score poorly, you see guys score great.
Right.
I've shot, my first tournament, I shot a 136. Most tournaments, I'm around 100.
Okay.
I shot an 83 at Alhambra that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With 4 birdies. Like, not only was it my best round, it was also the most birds. And it was the round came down to how many birdies you had. It wasn't a playoff.
Right.
It wasn't a playoff tournament.
Right.
So those birdies are what won it. Because
Yeah.
another guy, I think, shot an 83, but he only had 2 birdies.
Yeah, and you did it.
And so I did it with the 4 birdies. But, I mean, that was my only 3rd time breaking 90, you know?
That's pretty
good. I
good.
go out there and I usually shoot in the low 90s. But that's how a lot of guys in Tropicana are. They have good days, they have bad days. But that kind of humanizes the relationships with everybody.
For sure.
You know, I think for a while it was like the whole sandbag issue. I think that's kind of phased out. The guys that have stuck around, you know, if they had a good day or a bad day,
Right.
they're not trying to bullshit their friends. And I think everybody has mutual respect for each other.
And I think when you won, and I hate to put a knife in a wound, but there was a phrase that had been coined for a while that was he Tiki toned it.
Yeah.
and
that was from our Top Tracer tournaments.
So we would have tournaments at Glen Oaks, which is a Top Golf style atmosphere. It's a driving range with tracers, and we would play. We would play 18 holes, and you'd get judged based on your handicap, and then you'd go to the finale that night, and you'd play, and then there'd be a winner. So Tiki Tone made the playoff almost every time.
Pretty much every time.
And he'd play well. And then in the playoff, it would happen.
It would happen every single time. And everybody would just wait for it. You know?
He would blow up a few holes.
Completely lose.
And it finally just said he Tiki toned it. Like he got to the finish line and fell down.
Yeah.
And I think you finally got one.
The very last one you had before we stopped doing it, which actually I'm due for a championship because
I know
the
you
winner of the championship got all the events
know.
paid. But I don't care. I was just happy to finally win. I was talking so much shit after too.
And then you won a tournament after that.
Yeah, actually.
You won the tournament after that. So you
just playing good golf at that time.
You came full circle and finally un-Tiki toned yourself.
Yes.
And that phrase went out the window.
That's true. I haven't heard that.
And we don't say that anymore. Well, that's a great golf analogy because that is golf. You have great days and you have days that you're like, what just happened? You know, well, how have I ever played? I just played Hidden Valley a week ago today. A week ago today. And I shot 92. I haven't shot 92 in years.
Wow.
Years. And I was making 7s, I was making 8s, and I made a few birdies, which is crazy, but I also like these big numbers, and I'm like, you know, I don't get upset anymore. I don't like think of it like that because I know that that's golf. You're going to have these days where your body just goes, I don't know what you're doing here. Like, you don't know how to play.
Yeah.
Try something else. Stop at the bowling alley on your way home and play pool. But golf's not your thing today. So I think that's the thing with golf is that everybody expects this gradual improvement, but it actually looks like this. Like you're going to have and then come back down. And it's kind of like the stock market. You know, you go up over time. Yes, you will improve for sure. But you're going to have your down days, weeks, holes, shots,
rounds, shots. Yeah.
But in the long run, you do improve, and people will be there to watch that and acknowledge that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's touch a little bit more on your own personal activity. So you're a DJ in Were you DJing in downtown LA?
Yeah, that's where I kind of got started DJing.
What were you doing in downtown LA?
I've been working in the same industry for going on 14 years now, which is litigation support, legal industry, super boring, but very lucrative. And my most recent job that I've now been at for 7 years provides me with a lot of flexibility, and I work from home. I'm only in the office twice a month.
Oh, wow.
But I was doing that down there. It's just that I worked in downtown, lived in downtown, had a lot of friends in downtown, so I had a lot of free time. And so I had always been into music production and running studios and things like that, which naturally evolved into DJing, especially because I was always the guy that, here, you play the music at the party. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it evolved into DJing. It started off with house music mostly, and I was playing clubs and bars and stuff like that down there. And then kind of became more like open format type stuff. I was playing this arcade bar in the Arts District called 82, which is a really cool spot.
Okay.
And that was more like playing anything from 80s to hip hop to 90s to across the spectrum. And that kind of planted the seed for doing weddings and events and things like that, which is what I primarily do now as a side gig. I still work, for my law firm, but
Right. When you have time, and
when
you
I
get a
have time
gig.
and I want some extra cash, I'm very good at that too. So I make good money whenever I can. I do get a little burnt out if I have multiple events back to back, but if I need some side money, it's a good way to get it.
The music industry is you have a love-hate for it. Like I've always said that when you start out, you really love it and you do it because you love it, and you're doing it in your room, you're doing it in your house, you're doing it for free, you're doing it to get better. And I was talking to Chacon about this, as soon as somebody gives you $1 or $1,000 or $10,000, you just go,
It's a job now.
oh shit.
Yeah.
Like I got to go to work.
Yeah.
And everything about it. Now listen, not everything. What I still love about it is putting on a good show for the client.
Yeah.
I like to see the client having a good time. Do I like setting up and running cables and breaking down?
That shit
And
sucks.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That is my nightmare. But when the bride at the end of the night comes up and says, thank you so much, you've made my wedding, that I love. I've had shows where people come to me at weddings and go, that was a great concert. And I go, this was a wedding. And they go, oh, yeah. But you, they don't know what to say. Like that was a great they felt like they went to a concert.
Yeah.
And
I've seen you guys live. I could see.
yeah, that's right. You just came.
My wife and I plan a huge 40th birthday party, joint 40th birthday party next year. And after we saw your show, we're like, because we want bands, DJs, art installations. We're trying to rent out a venue.
Look at you.
We're like, we're booking Jimmy's
Yeah,
band.
let me know. I would love to do that for you guys. And I think that is something. See, that's stuff that I enjoy because it's something that I know people will value and people will get a kick out of. It's just going to a nightclub in Ventura for people that I don't know,
Yeah.
that I've never seen, and they're all there and ready to party, fine. And you just go, okay, here we go. And 4 hours later, people are drunk and, can I sing? God. Yeah, here, let me unplug the microphone first. You can sing all night long.
I was waiting for you to call me up to do regulators.
You left.
I know I did leave.
You left. You didn't even get to regulators.
It was too crazy already.
You didn't. I was gonna have you do regulators.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn
you
it.
left at like 10:30.
Fuck that up. I'm sorry.
Right? You left super early.
It was pretty early.
Yeah. No, we don't even get going until midnight. That's all like the first. You know this. I mean, the first couple sets are always like sound check.
Yeah.
Like, how's the room? How is it with a lot of people? What's it sounding like? What are the people? You got to let them warm up. You got to let them get 4 drinks in.
Yeah.
And then at midnight, always, anywhere, and forever, at midnight, at the stroke of midnight, things change. And people just go, we're loose now.
Yeah.
And that's when the party starts. So if you ever go anywhere and you're going to a live event, wait till midnight. Just when you think you're leaving, just be like, let's see what happens at 12:07.
Noted.
And I promise you, it's a different world at 12:07.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then the band or the DJ didn't do their job. But 12:07 is the number. So you're in LA, you're DJing, you come back to Glendora during COVID?
Actually, my wife and I bought our house. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. We got so lucky. We were trying to move out for a while. I mean, we'd been there for 8 years, kind of
He says, I was going to ask about. What were you going to ask about?
for that right there.
I know, but what were you going to? You were going to ask for a shot, or you were going to ask about it?
No, can I get that? Like, let me get that.
Yeah, you can get that.
Thank you.
This is Grand Malo Tequila. This is available at San Dimas Liquor and Freeway Liquor. It is a 10 out of 10. It's a liqueur made with tequila, blanco, and sugar cane spirit. Have you ever had this?
No.
Okay, you're going to get your mind blown. Now,
Yeah,
Nate.
I saw you pouring it for Chacon. I wanted to try it.
Oh, Chacon. As soon as I gave him this, he started with his trivia. It was don't start with any
Yeah,
trivia.
he did.
Nate, do we drink this just like
Seemed
this?
like it did hit
Just
him
shot-
after a
wait.
couple. I'm just smelling it.
You want to smell it?
Yeah,
What's it
smells
smell like?
good.
Tequila?
It actually smells like those candies.
So, it is.
It
It's
smells like those
spicy
chamoy
tamarindo.
candies, yeah.
So have a drink. Salud.
Salud. Wow. It's
Good, right?
Yeah.
What did we mix it with the other day? That was.
Arizona watermelon punch.
Oh my God, bro! It was
That
like
sounds like jungle juice.
It was very fraternity and very like, jungle juice, but it was really good.
Was it?
Yeah, I felt it's very sexy, sexy Salma. He called it. I don't know if it's sexy. I mean, I would see the women drinking this and love it.
Well, they
It's-
have those shots at the bar. They call Mexican candy shots. It tastes similar to that.
Okay,
but
I've
not
had that.
as sweet.
Yeah, not as sweet. I've had that before. Actually, I just had one that weird that you should mention that. At the last party that we played, they were doing Mexican candy shot. It didn't taste like this. This has a good spicy flavor.
Yeah, I like that. It's like jalapeno or something.
I
It's
think
good.
I think that's what's in there. All right, so you come back to Glendora, you buy a house.
We got lucky. A lot of factors had to fall into place for us to get that house at the price that we did. We moved in, and within 2 weeks, the first quarantine went into effect. Because we were dreading the commute back to downtown every day. Her office was there too.
Right.
And so it worked out perfectly. I know COVID sucked for a lot of reasons and for a lot of people, but that first like 6 months, it gave us a chance to bond with the house.
Sure.
You know, it was just her and I, like just together all day, every day, laughing, joking, having 3 meals a day together, getting used to living in the suburbs again.
Right.
And it was the shit. Like it really, I think, kind of solidified our bond with the area and made us proud to be back here. And stuff.
Are you still happy to be back? Or are you ready to go?
No, I love it. Yeah. And I'm so close to family now.
Yeah.
And that was a big motivation for me. I'm very big on family. I have a lot of family. I have godchildren, nieces, nephews. And
Right.
so I get to see them all the time.
Good.
We're always doing stuff. There's
Yeah, I
always
see that. You
parties
guys are.
or, games. I was just at a softball game last night for my goddaughter.
Let's talk about now. You mentioned softball. You're a massive Dodgers fan.
Yes.
Are you still on the high of the World? We were
Absolutely.
here. We watched it. Remember that, Nate?
You did.
We
Wow.
watched it here because that was the night Chacon was filming his thing. So we're watching the whole entire World Series. I'm watching at home,
Yeah.
very relaxed, this and the other, listening to everything. Game 6, 5? 6.
5.
Game 5, we're here watching it on my phone
With a 15-piece band.
with a 15-piece band
That's cool.
huddled around.
Yeah.
And we're just watching it, and like it just went from this massive production of the World Series. I went from game 1 at the stadium to game 2 at home.
That's right, you
3
went.
at home, 4 at home, relax, this, the other. And then bam, we're here on an 8-inch screen watching the game. But it was cool. It was good to see. Do you think that this is going to be a repeat thing?
I think, yeah. I mean, they did it without their full capacity. You know what I mean? And to think
Right.
that most of their pitchers were out, Ohtani wasn't pitching.
Right.
I think, yeah, they absolutely have a shot to repeat. But I've been a Dodger fan long enough to also know to not get my hopes up.
Well,
you
listen,
know?
they did it. And
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Well, 88, I was 5. But since then, I went through a lot of heartbreak and
Yeah.
letdown.
Yeah.
And it started with them getting rid of Mike Piazza. The
Really?
day they traded Mike Piazza, I said, why?
Yeah.
I could not understand it. And then they just slowly started getting rid of everybody.
Yeah.
And I go, what? This
He
is
was
a
my
great
favorite
team.
player as a kid,
He
too.
was great.
Yeah.
And they just traded and brought in Paul LaDuca.
And it was a bad breakup, too. Like,
Yes.
there was some kind of drama between Mike Piazza and Vince Scully. And
It was stupid. Like,
Yeah.
this guy was great. He was a great hitter. He was the reason people were going to the Dodger games, and then all of a sudden he's gone. But Here's another question. Did you go to the parade? Did you go to the stadium?
Yeah, so we tried to get tickets to the stadium. I couldn't get them. Fortunately, my sister-in-law did, but we had already decided we were going to go to the parade if we didn't.
Okay.
I'm glad we didn't because we had the kids with us, and I mean, the parade looked crazy.
So you did not go?
We didn't go to the parade. We went to the stadium.
Okay.
Just directly to the stadium.
I have a question about the parade.
Okay.
I understand that the Dodgers win and whatever. But I don't understand the parade. I really don't. It's this bus that drives by. It's not a parade. I can see going to the Rose Parade.
Yeah.
Where it's 2.5 hours of stuff coming by and horses and floats and bands. And this is a bus with people on the top. And you're on the floor and you're doing this, trying to get a glimpse of Kike.
Yeah.
Is it necessary?
I mean,
there was 1 million people in a 1 mile radius.
yeah,
What
it's
are
an
you gonna
interesting
see?
question, I guess, because I've only ever known parades for championships, the Laker parade. Any other time another team has a parade, you know, I don't know anything other than that.
I don't think I could do
Celebrating in the
that.
stadium was a cool experience for sure.
That
And
was a
kinda
show.
made sense. Yeah,
That was
'cause
a
it was
show.
a show. It was
that
a
was
show.
a show, and it was a good show. I watched it. But the parade, man?
I think it's just meant to be like a momentous time for people to celebrate. And I mean, mind you, people go out in the streets and do some stupid shit
For sure.
afterwards. But it's like we're all celebrating together. I mean, it meant so much to the players that they were actually going to get their parade this year. You know, many of the players were like, "We want our parade." They wanted it in 2020.
I know,
They didn't
I
get
know,
it.
I know.
So it's not just for the fans; it's also for the players.
Well,
Like,
you would think that they would do something a little bit. You know what they should do? They should put everybody on their own car.
yeah, that'd be cool.
That's a parade.
Yeah.
A parade is multiple vehicles going. They had 2 buses
Yeah,
that drove by and said,
but they were partying too. You can't do
Fine.
beer bongs by yourself.
okay, good. I
mean, you
Put
could,
4 people.
Yeah.
4 people per car in the back of a pickup truck
Yeah.
or something. Something a little bit better than
Back
a
of an El
bus,
Camino
man.
or something
You're
like that.
standing on this bus way up there. It's like, dude, what are we doing here? And there was so many people.
Definitely.
Nobody went to work. It was a Friday.
Yeah.
It was a Friday. And listen,
I don't know if any of my coworkers are going to see this, so I shouldn't have said any of that. But
You didn't go to anything.
I caught the blue fever, you know?
Yeah.
No, I emailed my work the night before. I prepped them. I'm like, I'm not feeling too well. I'll let you guys know in the morning. But
What
I
a
got up
liar.
early that day, like 6 a.m. Like, hey, I'm still not feeling well. I'm not going to be there today. And then all of them, hope you feel better. I don't know if they knew or if they suspected. It was all over TV.
Everybody knows, bro.
But
Everybody
one of my
knows.
coworkers texted me like, "Hey, are you really sick, or you got a little case of that blue fever?" And I was like,
We know. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that you got to go, I guess. You got to go. You got to experience everything. Like I'm not a big crowds guy.
Yeah.
Like I like to be like, that's why I love Rams Hill, because it's like no crowds.
"Yeah,
I'm at just gone.
yeah,
And I went to the World Series game, and although it was great and it was an unbelievable
were you
game.
there for Freddie's Grand Slam?"
Yes, I
That's
was
awesome.
there, and that is the single loudest anything from a crowd that I've ever. I've been
stadium was
to
buzzing,
Rolling
huh?
Stones. I've been to what else is similar to that? I've been to punk rock shows where it's just like insane. I went to a show one time where it was Bad Religion and Pennywise,
Shit.
and there was a lot of like energy in the
Yeah,
air, right? This
Feel
is
it,
like
electricity almost.
2000, 2001 when that was like heavy,
Yeah,
and nothing like that. As soon as he hit that ball, you hear the crack of the bat, and the stadium shook, man, and it shook for 5 minutes.
that's cool.
It was
I'm
insane.
jealous of that.
It was definitely an experience. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't know what to do. Like the people are just losing their minds. Manolo's there. First of all,
Noah's a big Dodger fan, right?
big Dodger fan.
Yeah.
The guy never uses his phone. Like doesn't
Okay.
check emails, hardly responds to anything on Instagram, like doesn't
He's
do
not documenting everything.
and he had his phone out and he was filming
That's cool.
the Freddie Freeman
Hell
hit.
yeah.
And he got it. And he traced the ball.
Oh my God.
Bro, that's the best camera work you've ever done in your life. And
Where were you guys sitting?
we had good seats. We were in the loge, directly above first base.
Oh, so you saw
Everything.
The best
It was incredible.
That's
It was
amazing.
incredible. We had a couple foul ball. There was a foul guy 2 rows down that caught a foul ball. There was a guy 3 rows up that caught a foul ball, and they hit the ball. And normally, I would have caught that ball.
Yeah.
I would have ran up there and I would have made space and I would have caught that ball. And he looked at me. He goes, "I can't believe you didn't catch that ball." I go, "I know," but it was weird. It was
You kind of freeze up a little, right?
well, I've caught some before.
Yeah.
I've caught a home run ball at Angel Stadium. I've caught a couple foul balls. I've caught some balls that the guys throw in when they're at the end of an inning. But this one this stadium in that World Series game had a different energy.
Yeah.
It was almost like a TV show, and it was almost scripted.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get out of it. I was just, there was always something going on. So like, I didn't want to miss anything. Okay. So they hit this ball and I was like, and it landed 3 rows back. And the guy standing right there, I go, I definitely could have caught that. But it was definitely an experience. And I think that if you ever have an opportunity to go to a World Series game,
yeah,
it is like I've been to hundreds of baseball games. Yeah. And it is.
I went to a lot of postseason games. I was there game 6 and 7 in 2017 when they lost to the Astros. It was heartbreaking,
Yeah.
So I've been to some big ones. I would say the most electric moment I ever experienced was Juan Uribe's walk-off in like 2013 to the Cardinals in the NLCS. I was in the pavilion and he just had that amazing walk-off and he just drops his bat. And kind of, that's the closest I have to knowing that energy of the crowd. I was in the pavilion. People were jumping from the benches into the aisles and just hugging strangers. And everybody was jumping up and down. It was unreal. And it just felt like electric in the whole stadium. So I'm sure it's not nearly on the same level as Freddie's Grand Slam. But
I've been to the Kings game when they won the Stanley Cup.
Holy shit.
I've been to a Lakers game in a box when they won. I went with Mike Noonan. So this was, I don't know, 2001. I don't know. Whenever the Lakers won, we went. And I was there for that. They won. But that's 30,000 people, right?
Yeah.
This was 60,000 people losing their minds.
Yeah.
Even people that weren't, there was people in there that shouldn't have been in there. Like they got in.
Yeah.
And Nacho is one of them. Juan Espinosa. And there was, I have a feeling there was a lot of those people because you would go up, I'd go up to the bathroom or I'd go up to get a beer. Hundreds of people walking around. So I don't know if they sold extra tickets of just walking around tickets, but it was insane. So anyway, it's one of those things that if you ever have an opportunity to go and experience that, luckily it was game 1, so it had a different energy and it just climaxed at the end.
Yeah.
But I think you need to experience that because it was good. Oh, you know what game I went to that was close? I went to a USC, but it wasn't a national championship. It was just a USC game, I think at the Rose Bowl.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, they played at the Rose Bowl. Maybe it was a national championship. And they lost to Texas. Vince Young ran this ball, and we were there. But it was more USC.
Is that when they had like Matt Leinart and those guys?
Yes.
Reggie Bush.
Yeah. It was.
I remember that.
That was a magical era. Yeah,
that's right.
And that was a loud crowd, but definitely not like this. So anyway, let's get back to this. Big Dodger fan. You went to the stadium, and that was cool.
Yeah,
I liked watching that actually. Like I thought it was good. Yeah. I thought it was well done.
Were they allowing the cursing on TV? Because these guys were all cussing.
Yes, I heard a couple. I think Kike said a couple things. There was probably a delay.
Walker was cussing. I know that for sure.
Who was?
Walker Buehler. They were all wasted, which was funny to see. But they would get up there and just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah. I think Ohtani was the only one that was like, I gotta go.
People lost their shit though when he spoke in English because he doesn't.
I know.
It was pretty cool.
He brought up the translator and then he just pushed him away. Yeah. He's like, I got this, bro.
It was cool.
That's cool.
So I got to ask you a question.
Yeah,
because you made a big point at the beginning of the stadium to say that you're now an Angels fan, and I feel like you got opportunities to go to these Dodger games and the World Series with Manolo.
Right.
But Are you just as excited not being so much of a Dodgers fan now to watch them win? Would you have been more excited last year and years past than you were this year?
Listen, I am somebody that roots for my city. I think that you're right back there. I think that LA gets a lot of negative heat all over the planet.
Yeah,
People hate LA.
definitely.
Beat LA.
Yeah.
And I will root for LA 99%. And even the Angels are still LA, you know? Like I was at one point a Yankees fan because I liked that baseball. I liked Derek Jeter, I liked Posada, I liked A-Rod even, I liked Mark Teixeira, I liked the way they played ball.
Okay.
So I liked watching them.
Yeah.
So I just became a fan because I liked Matsui, Bernie Williams. Like I liked the way they played ball.
You liked players.
I liked the organization. I
Okay.
still like
Okay.
the organization. The organization has changed after Steinbrenner died.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, Steinbrenner's the boss there. They don't lose that game.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. And it's been noted that he would come into the locker room and say, listen, you don't win tomorrow, you don't have a job on Monday. And he kicked ass. You know, he kicked people's ass. And now it's like, it's different now. And I don't really like the guys. Like Judge's whatever and Stanton's whatever. And,
Yeah.
you know, I don't have a player that I really like. I like that the Dodgers won it. And I like that our city won it. And I like that the vibe is high in LA.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
all for
Fair
that.
enough. Fair
And when
enough.
I was playing music weekly and monthly and whatever, when these teams won, our tips were out of control.
That's cool.
Bar sales were out of control.
Yeah.
And I loved it. The Lakers were a big thing in 2000. I don't know, you know, when Kobe was there and everything. And they won a lot.
Yeah.
And we would
Three-peat.
play every Friday night. And these guys would play Friday night and Saturday night. And they'd win, and people would get excited. And like, there was no fights. There was just, people were pumped up.
That's cool.
So I've always
So it
had
kind of
that.
unites people.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
When a big team in LA wins, it unites everyone.
For sure it unites people, and it makes people just want to party. And
Yeah.
when people party and you're in the party environment and your pay is dependent on how much they drink, man,
And
I
how much
want
fun they're
them to
having.
win.
Yeah.
I want them to win, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. But still, even this, I like the fact that people have, you know, these, even you and like all these guys that been longing for this Dodger win. I'm glad that you got it.
Thank you.
You know,
I
I'm
appreciate
glad
that.
that you have this positive outlook now. And if you wouldn't, then you'd be bummed out. And then, you know,
I've been there,
Yeah.
experienced it, prepare myself for it every year.
what am I going to do when they lose?
Yeah, you know,
I know. I
turn
know
my
what you
phone
mean.
off, and
Yeah, it's embarrassing almost.
It
It's
is.
like,
It
and there's
is.
nothing you can do about it. And the players, I think the players care.
I think
for
they
sure.
do too. I really
But remember, they could be gone next year. So they don't really, I don't think you will be a Dodgers fan forever.
do. Yes.
They will not. They will not be Dodgers forever.
Yeah.
Kike was traded 2 years ago, and he'll be traded again.
Yeah.
And then what's he going to do? He's not going to root for the Dodgers when he's on the Cubs playing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
He wants a payday. So the fans have more at stake than the players do.
That's a very good point.
So-
and
I don't do it for the
Acknowledge
players.
that.
I don't root for the players. I root for the fans.
cool. I like that.
Because I don't, like I said, the players they come and they go.
Yeah.
They come and they go. And
Yeah.
and they don't, I don't think they really care. They don't.
I really do think there's some that do. And I think this year, because they had such a poor performance in the last couple of years, and Mookie, you know, at the start of the postseason, since last postseason, like this guy's 0 for 26 or
For
whatever
sure.
it was. He was spending extra time. He was doing work. He wanted to do that for us, you know, and he did. And I think there are some players, maybe the guys that know they're going to be here for a while, that are more invested in the organization.
But Mookie won it against the Dodgers with the Red Sox.
True.
So
and may or may not have been cheating like the Astros were. But we don't like to talk about that in Dodger Nation.
we're not going to talk about that.
No.
The blue wave, the blue fever.
Yeah.
What we are going to talk about here, though, is your future plans and or outlook on golf. This is a very golf-related audience that we have here.
Yeah.
And, thousands of people all over the U.S. that tune in to watch golf tips. And I've said, by the way, now you're going to watch a podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that golf is something that it's just a plus. It's a bonus for our lives. We have something else to talk about. We have other hobbies. We have employment. We have this, the other, but golf is something else. So I want you to tell me, like I ask everybody, your favorite local, public or private, golf course here in Southern California. Or it doesn't even have to be, listen, it doesn't have to be.
How about some standouts? I'll just give you some standouts.
Do you have, give me some give me
Oak
top
Quarry's
three.
one I always look forward to playing.
Okay.
I take my dad there to play every year for his birthday. I really love Oak Quarry. Anytime I get a chance to play there, I want to play there. As far as like local courses that I prefer
Let's
to
talk
play,
a little bit about Oak Quarry, because a lot of people don't know what Oak Quarry is. Oak Quarry is in Riverside County, which is, I don't know, 45 miles east of downtown LA.
Yeah.
Because we always have to go center of what people know.
Got
So
it.
45 miles east of downtown LA, there is a county called Riverside County, San Bernardino County. I don't even know. Is it Riverside?
I think it's like the north end of Riverside.
Either way, it's this rock quarry where they mined rocks.
Yep.
Big, huge mountains, and then big dugout, like, I don't know,
What would you
quarries.
call it? Yeah, like a quarry.
And they built this golf course inside there, it's a very, very nice golf course. Now, you didn't play golf kind of before COVID.
Yeah.
So
it used to be cheaper, right?
Oh, Oak Quarry was $49.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And now it's $149.
Yeah, at least.
At least.
Friday through Sunday, it's over $200.
Yeah. So it is like a very, very, and it's not resort style. It's a difficult golf course.
Yeah.
And usually, like a Pelican Hill. Like Pelican Hill is this golf course on the Newport Beach coast. Very upbeat, $400, like very exclusive. And it is a resort course. You can hit your ball anywhere, and you're going to find a fairway.
Okay.
It's 75,
play
100,
there. Shit.
100
Monarch
yard.
was hard as fuck.
100. You played there?
I played Monarch before.
Monarch's different.
Yeah,
Monarch's different. Monarch is tight.
I thought it would be more like Pelican. So
No. It is not like that. Pelican is a resort course. People come from God knows where to go on vacation to Newport Beach, and then they go play there because you're there, and it's very, very nice. The fairways are 100 and 150 yards wide. It's very nice. It's not difficult per se. Like you can play really well at Pelican Hill, but Oak Quarry is tough.
Yeah,
it's a tough course, and people still go, and it has challenging holes. Their signature hole is very difficult.
Yeah. You're talking about that par 3 with the big rock face.
That's not an easy hole.
No, it's not.
You have to hit over.
I don't think I've
canyon.
ever hit the green from the tee box.
And for that to be their signature hole, like, listen, Pebble Beach, their signature hole is number 7.
Yeah,
it's 117 yards. It's an Arcadia par 3 hole. It really is. It's super easy. It's downhill. Now, when it's blowing 150 miles an hour, it's a little bit more challenging.
So it's on the coast, though.
Yes, it's right on the coast, and it is. You can't really miss right because you'll hit it in the ocean.
Okay,
but it's 110 yards.
Okay,
it's not hard.
Anyway, check it out.
Yeah. Well, when you get a chance, do it. Okay, so Oak Quarry. That's
Oak Quarry. What's the one at Pechanga? Journey. Journey's a great course. I love just like the elevation changes there, and
I haven't played that.
It's cool.
I haven't played that.
It's just a fun course to play. I actually don't think that's a resort course either, because there's courses in like Palm Springs and Palm Desert and stuff like that. Some of them are resort courses. Some of them are not.
Sure.
I like to play the resort courses. Desert Willow is one of my favorites out there. I love that course. I haven't got to play many of the classic ones in Palm Springs other than like Tahquitz Canyon. I've played that one a couple times.
Sure.
But I do tend to steer towards the resort courses because if I'm going to spend $200 to play around, I like it to be a little bit fun. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
For some reason, Oak Quarry, I always play terrible there, and I love playing there. I don't know.
So the resort course, listen, there's a lot of people east of Laverne,
Okay.
and all the way to New
In
York
the 909?
that have no, I'm talking about east of Laverne all the way to New York.
Okay.
That have no idea what a resort course is.
Really? I mean, maybe in Florida. You got to have resort courses in
Okay.
Florida.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
But from here to Florida,
Got it.
there's very minimal resort courses. A resort course is somewhere where you go, you stay there, you play there, and you're not there to only play golf. You are there to experience life in that area. It's a vacation destination. I don't want to say that there's none, because I know that there are some, and there's beautiful parts all over the country. But a lot of the country is golf and just golf.
Okay.
These are places, this is a resort course where you go, you stay, you play. You go to Pelican Hill, yeah, you're going to play golf, but you're also going to Newport Beach. You're going to Huntington Beach. You're going to Laguna. You're checking out the California coastline. And there's not a lot of that all throughout the nation. There's just, there's not. You're going to go to Kentucky and go to, maybe one, but not like there are here. So anyway, what I'm saying is that these resort courses are formatted and built so that you play the course and you go, I'm really good. That was really fun.
Yeah.
I played really well.
Yeah.
We're coming back here on our
And
next
it's also
vacation.
usually a beautiful course, like very well
Exactly.
maintained.
Yes.
And gorgeous and
scenic.
cool shit to look at.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they want you to come back.
Okay.
And they're not here to challenge you where it's like, I lost every ball in the first 4 holes.
Yeah.
It's like
Via Verde.
it's like we played so well. Our next vacation, we're coming back to Southern California. We're coming back to, I don't care if it was $500. We're coming back because I'm a really good golfer now. And I played really well, and it was great. So that's the definition of a resort course. Now they have those in Palm Springs, the big wide fairways. You can't miss the 12,000 square foot greens, flat as a board.
The holes that go like this, and it's not all OB when you slice it off the tee.
It somehow magically comes back into play.
That's actually, I remember remembering this shot at Rams Hill, and I think maybe Connor, Rich, I don't know who else was in my group. I sliced my drive so bad, and I hit the only house on the whole fucking course. There was really no other houses there.
No.
And not only that, this house was 100 yards away from the OB mark, right?
Whoops.
Heard it so loud. I thought it was gone. I hit another one, and it was a different ball. As we're driving up, my ball's in the middle of the fairway. That ball, it hit that house and bounced so far back into the fucking fairway. None of us could believe it, but they knew it was mine. It had the blue stripe. I said Tiki on it. It was crazy. I've never seen some shit like that.
That's
before.
great. So we got Oak Quarry. Did we get to another one?
Journey, Desert Willow.
Journey. Okay.
I love. I just played shit. I can't remember the name. It's in Moore Park, something like that.
Moore Park Country Club?
No, it was something else. I won't go into that. I want to talk more about local courses that I just love to play.
Okay.
San Dimas, Marshall Canyon, Industry, play those all the time. Love those courses. I think bang for your buck. They're great courses.
What's the best out of those three for you?
San Dimas, probably.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
San Dimas. I like playing Marshall only because it's so challenging with it's like putting at the haunted shack. You know what I mean?
Everything's
Knott's Berry
like this.
Farm. It looks like it'll break like this, and it doesn't. And I like betting people for putting games there. It's the only way I can make money on bets is betting putting there. But yeah, I'm a member at Industry, so I play that one quite a bit as well. But yeah, I mean, those are probably the three I play the most. Now that Azusa Greens is open, even though it's only 9 holes, it's definitely better than Rancho Duarte. So I play Azusa Greens quite a bit. It's a good value.
Rancho Duarte is such a shame because it's a 9-hole golf course in the middle of the city, and it could be fun, but everything about Rancho is terrible. Sometimes, they have good greens. They have terrible greens. They have terrible fairways. They have terrible tee boxes. There's no structure to the hole. It's just dirt.
Well, I think even if they did have good greens, by the end of the day, people who are paying $8 for a round, are going to make sure it's not a fucking great green anymore. You know, that's the
sad.
problem as well.
The greens at Arcadia Par 3 are 1,000 times better
Yeah.
than the greens at
100,
Rancho Doria.
yeah.
It's a shame.
And I just played Glendora Country Club this morning, which my buddy's a member there, so I love that course. And I think that's a very challenging, well-kept local course as well.
I played
I saw
Glendora.
you played there
I played there
right?
last week, and I really like it. You know, like it's weird because I have played it in the past,
Yeah.
and it never like turned my key. It was
Okay.
just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
number 1 is like number 6, and number 8 is like number 9, and number 11 is like number 14. It's
Okay,
like very
I could
similar,
see that.
but it's so perfectly manicured for a local private course. And then I was like, yo, this is kind of challenging.
Yeah.
Like
It's a very hard course.
yeah, it's not as easy as I remember.
Yeah.
So I played it and I was like, this is really nice.
Yeah.
Like I had a very, very good time. And it's not overly difficult where it's like
If you play conservative, you can shoot well there.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to like get carried away and then spiral out of control.
there's a
you know?
lot of come get me holes where
Yes.
it's like, try it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And they know exactly where the hazard needs to be and
Right.
you know the mistakes that most golfers are going to make. And then just their greens are ridiculous. Today they have their club championship this weekend. So I've never
Oh.
played on greens this
And they just
difficult
had
before.
an LPGA tournament there.
Oh, I didn't
Saturday.
know that. So then I'm sure it's been maintained to the same
Yeah.
level.
They were rock hard and they were
Yeah.
rolling and they were good.
And the pin placements were ridiculous.
I didn't
today.
have crazy pin placements, but the greens were rolling. And I was like, I was just tapping it and they,
Yeah.
so I really, really, really like Glendora. And I think that it actually, I played it at sunset with Juan
Nice.
Baños. And I was like,
Is he a member of Trop?
Yeah.
You got to put him on blast, and everyone's gonna hit him up to play Glendora.
And it was special, man. Like I liked it. And I don't get excited about too many golf courses. That was one that I was like,
That's cool.
I really like this place again.
Yeah.
You know, like I fell back into I got to come back. I got to do better here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. So we've heard your best of.
Well, best of locally. I mean,
Best of local. Do you have a favorite?
As
everywhere?
much as like I'm not a very good golfer,
Yeah.
I like have the means to go play some pretty amazing courses. And
Okay.
you know, my buddy pitched this idea of doing Scotland this year, which
Oh,
we ended
that's
up going.
right. Let's talk about this.
We went to Scotland in March.
Okay.
And he'd been kind of pitching this idea for a while. And I'm like, dude, I'm not good enough to go play in Scotland. That'd be such a waste of money. And then, you know, I'm talking to my dad, I'm talking to my uncle, and they're like, do you know how much I would give to have the opportunity to go? Like, you have no real obligations
Sure.
holding you back.
Sure.
Go do this. Even if you suck, go have fun.
Yeah.
You know, don't go into it with the mentality that you're going to shoot the best
Yeah, who
rounds
cares?
and disappoint yourself when you don't, because I was going to, for sure, not
Yeah.
shoot the best rounds. But yeah, we planned this whole trip. My buddy planned the courses that we played. We turned it into a couples trip. So we brought the wives with us.
I
My
saw
wife
that.
and I went 2 days early, spent that whole time sightseeing, doing all the shit, spent the 2 days after doing that. But the one thing that helped also is it's, sun is up from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So you have very
All
long
day.
days.
Yeah.
We only played 2 rounds each in a day, maybe twice, because they're hard. They're hard courses. They're a lot of walking, a lot of
Yeah.
hills, a lot of wind, a lot of weather that you're dealing with. So we only did it twice. But it was a perfect balance of playing amazing golf and then hanging out with the wives, sightseeing. St. Andrews is such a fucking awesome, like, family-oriented town and college community and like hip fucking bars and restaurants. And
So you
shit.
went to St. Andrews.
Yes.
And did you walk the golf course also?
Yes, definitely. That's all we got to do.
But it's open to just go walk, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's so weird to me.
There's a walking path that you got to watch out for, tee shots
Yeah,
and
yeah,
approach shots. But you can walk right through 18 and 1.
Okay.
So, and all the buildings and everything that
Yeah.
you're used to seeing are all
Yeah.
right there. You're hanging out. You're watching other people golf. We found a bar that overlooked the 18th green, so
Yeah,
we're watching that
yeah.
for a
That's
while and
sick.
stuff. And you can walk not the entire course, but a lot of the beginning and ending holes.
Sure.
So we did that, but the lottery made it difficult for any of us except one guy to play.
Right. Marcos got
Yeah,
it.
Marcos got to play, and he deserved it out of all of us. Like that was his pilgrimage.
Sure.
He proposed to his wife on the little bridge on 17.
That's awesome.
Like the day before, and
He's
then
had a pretty good year, that dude.
he just had
2024 is his
he
year.
had a baby.
Yeah.
His
Dodgers
baby's-
won.
Dodgers won. Actually,
played
you're
St.
right.
Andrews.
Marcos has had the best year
Yeah.
ever. I just saw him on Saturday. Hadn't seen him in his
Marcos,
his
you
wife,
better buy a
Jenny.
lotto ticket, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
And listen, and when you win that lotto ticket, remember who told you to buy that lotto ticket?
Yeah.
I'll give you $1 for every 100 that you spend. All I want is 1%.
And then you want $100 for every
No, I just
$1,000.
want 1%. He's going to win 240 million. I just want 1%.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
But buy it at San Dimas Liquor and Freeway Liquor. That's awesome. So you had a great time.
it was amazing.
That's,
Yeah, amazing.
That's good. I'm glad.
Even
you
though
got
we didn't
see
get to
that.
play the old course, we played a lot of amazing courses, including the best course I've ever played in my life, hands down the best round ever. It was called King's Barnes.
That's cool.
And it felt like we were playing in Hawaii because we brought like the California weather with us. They kept telling us that, and we had a caddy, which was crazy.
Sick.
Never had a caddy before.
Yeah.
And I played like shit.
Yeah.
So
Where's my
bad.
ball, caddy?
So bad.
I don't know,
The
sir. I
caddy
couldn't see
started
it.
helping me kind of cheat, like kick my balls out and shit. I mean, we weren't betting, so it didn't matter, but just to kind of save my sanity, and it was fun. Oh yeah.
I know two people from Tropicana that have played St. Andrews this year, which is very rare.
Toro did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Actually, we were talking about that at King Louis's birthday party.
Okay.
He was telling me he was going to Scotland. I had just got back from Scotland,
Yeah.
so we were exchanging,
they both
information
won
and
the
stuff.
lottery to play.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, that is,
Yeah.
people that know how difficult that is to win
Yeah.
that lottery.
Yeah.
And to know two people, I feel like I won the
Yeah.
lottery. That's awesome.
I just want to say it's an easier trip than you imagine. It's a cheaper trip than you imagine, especially if you go with a group of people.
Sure.
You can make it affordable and you can have a life-changing experience. So
I think
I'm
I
a
would
big
like to do it.
advocate for that.
I'm not ready to do it with kids just because I'm not ready to go to McDonald's with
Yeah.
4 kids. But I think at some point in my life, like, listen, I'm not going to go to St. Andrews. Like, I wouldn't even keep a scorecard. I don't care.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares what you shoot at St. Andrews? You played it and you had the experience. People are like, oh, I'm going to play terror. Who cares what you shoot at
Yeah.
St. Andrews? Who cares? Who cares what you shoot at San Dimas Canyon tomorrow? Like, you're not getting paid. Like, what's the difference? Try to have some little fun.
Yeah.
But that's great. I'm glad that you got to experience that. I'm glad that those guys got to actually play. Is there any other place on the planet that is a bucket list course for you?
I've played some great ones in Hawaii. I would say Tokyo's next, and we're actually Tokyo. Yeah, I want to play like at that Mount Fiji course with Mount Fiji in the background and stuff.
Have you ever seen golf in Korea?
Not really. No.
Dude, it is crazy.
Is
so
it?
go online and
Okay.
watch videos about how they play golf in Korea. So it's, first of all, it's an all-day thing.
Okay.
Like, you go, you first, like, you get a massage. They give
Damn.
you breakfast
Okay.
and like that whole thing. I know you're a big breakfast guy.
I'm a big food guy. Come on, guy.
So they give you that, they tune you up, then you go play.
They
then
tune you up.
Well, I mean, they work you out.
Okay,
like,
gotcha,
that
yeah.
whole thing. Then you go in, you take a shower, you go play nine holes.
Yeah.
You come in, they give you lunch for like an hour and a half. You eat lunch, then you go take a shower, you take a nap.
Between 9 holes.
Yes. Then you go back out in the afternoon. You play the fall, then you come back in. You
That's
have
pretty
drinks.
cool.
It's a full
Yeah.
14-hour day.
That's like spa experience.
What?
Jack Nicholas.
Jack Nicholas?
In Korea.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's what I would love.
I've never
to
seen
do
that before. I got to check that out. I've seen videos of like very nice courses lit up at night, like very lit up. And I didn't know if that was Korea or somewhere in China.
I think
But-
that's Korea also, but they have experiences in Korea where you go and you spend the whole day doing this, and
Maybe. That's cool.
I think it's.
Is that your bucket list?
Yeah. That
For sure?
I would.
Is there a
love-
specific course?
No, I don't know. I don't know any of the courses, but that to me is a great day. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, sounds like you need a spa day and to be pampered.
well, like, I like to have lunch and Like I said, I don't
I
care.
do like the idea of not feeling rushed between
Yes.
9 holes.
Yeah.
Like,
And you have caddies that push
I
you
want a
along
hot
and-
dog, dude. I want a fucking glizzy.
I don't think they have
And I
hot
got to
dogs
worry
there.
about these guys on my ass and them jumping me or like getting in front of me.
It's totally different.
You know?
I think people are like, play faster, get it over with, move along. I understand faster play.
Yeah.
But what are you in a hurry for, bro? Like, what are you going to go do?
Agreed.
I'm okay with slow, relaxed golf. As long as you're not absurd with it, fine. But like, you want to take your time? So
Do you feel pressure when there's people kind of on your ass? Do you feel pressure to play a little faster?
I
Does
don't
it
have
kinda mess
people
with
on
your
my
game?
ass. I can honestly say that
I
for
mean,
a very,
even if it's not you, if other people in your group are playing slow, and
yeah.
it's them.
Yeah.
There's guys waiting, they're standing on their clubs, like giving you the waiting for you kind of
So
fucking stance. And all
I would
that.
rather just let people play through. We did
Okay.
that. We had Friday skins the other day, Friday, and there was
At Marshall, right?
At Marshall, there were 6 of us playing, which is illegal. Number one, you're supposed to, but we're walking, and there's 6 of us, and then these 2 guys come up in a cart. So I go, guys, we got to let these guys play through. So we get out of the way, and it took 7 minutes, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And then you go about your day. So
Yeah.
I like to have nice, relaxed golf. I'm not trying to like rush to get out of there. And the country clubs, which is the craziest part, you play at a country club, they track you. If you're not done in 3 hours and 30 minutes, you get a fine and all this stuff.
Really?
I'm like, why don't they do that at a public course?
Yeah.
Like that.
There are some industry, they have like the monitors.
Sure.
And they have the map, the whole map, but it'll tell you that one, if you're behind, how many minutes, but they'll also send you a message from the
Hurry
pro
up.
shop, like hurry your ass up.
We played LACC 2 months before the U.S. Open.
That's awesome.
And there's no carts.
Yeah.
It's walking.
That
only.
looked like a tough
So
course.
I'm stoked for LACC. Like, oh, they're gonna have the U.S. Open here. We get a caddy. The caddy has to sign a card when the round starts and turn it in, and then he's got to turn one in when the round's over. And if it's more than 4 hours, the member gets fined.
Okay.
So this guy's like,
Yeah.
There's a couple guys in our group that are a little slower. 30-foot putt, that's good. I'm like, bro, you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars here, and you can't finish a putt.
Yeah.
What's
the guest fee? Did those guys pay to play also? You know, like you gotta take
they're
that
the
into
members.
account. Oh, they're the members.
I'm not a
Okay,
member.
okay.
They paid for me. I don't know what but
You
they're
don't pay for golf?
well. I mean, listen, they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to be members there, and you can't play a 5-hour round of golf.
Yeah.
It's like very, very, very serious. So I don't know. That I guess that's
I get really anxious when I got people on our ass.
For sure,
and my dad,
man.
Art, he's like, dude, play your game. We're not playing slow. And I'm like, oh, these fucking guys are fucking, and then like it stresses me out, and then I shank a shot. And
I hear
it
that.
gets in my head.
I
you
hear
know?
that. I hear that. And you're supposed to correct golf is keeping up with the group in front of you, not letting the group behind you catch up.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to, even if there's nobody behind you, you're still technically supposed to try to get to the group in front of you. But whatever. Listen, let's round this up with a couple more questions that I have for you.
Okay.
I want to know most importantly for me, you've been a longtime member of the club, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your friendship. I love that you participate. Can you tell me quickly what you think it's done, not for your golf game, because I don't really care about your golf game. I don't know what your handicap is, and I don't want to know. I don't care how well or how poorly you play. How do you feel? What does it do for you as an individual being a member of this club? And is there anything that you think, man, this has really changed the way my life operates, my golf game operates, my social life? Like, what has it done for you?
I think I have an answer that might be even a little deeper than you're expecting, to be quite honest.
Get the lube. He's going deep. Diddy.
Yeah. No Diddy. No
That got
Diddy.
weird.
No, I mean, because I'm not the best golfer.
Sure.
I can have great days. I can have bad days. that kind of gives me that like hope and that, that feeling. If I was practicing every single day, I feel like I'd kind of be setting myself up for failure with every disappointing round, which I have experienced. There are times in my life where I would practice every day and I thought my game should be getting better, but it hasn't. But going back to just what it means to me, golf is therapy for me.
For sure.
My wife and I have gone through some hard shit in the last few years.
Okay.
We had a very sudden, terrible loss in the family a few years ago. And that was right around the time that I really started getting into Tropicana and golf. Golf became like my distraction from what we were dealing with, and it became a therapeutic session for me. Getting out there, not having to think about anything except my next shot.
Right.
And the cool thing is, like, a lot of wives don't like their men golfing all the time.
Right.
My wife appreciates it so much for what it did for me, because what I was able to give to her coming back home and being in a better mental state, let's do this shit together. So golf became something that, was bigger than just the game. It became something that was very important in my life and I needed, because I had no other outlet to just get out there and do something that took my mind off what we were going through. And Tropicana fit in a way where when you're first starting out and you're starting to get serious, it's a little intimidating to play with strangers.
100%.
Once you start meeting people in the club, once you start playing tournaments, playing with guys off the Facebook group, even just making those connections, you feel more comfortable playing with those groups of guys.
Right.
So having groups to play with that that are guys from Tropicana that are like-minded, they don't care if you play like shit, they don't care what you're going through, you can just go out and have a good time and play golf with them. Tropicana and golf were pivotal in getting me through that point in my life.
That's awesome.
So it means a lot to me. And it's not about my game. It's not about, trying to score the best that I can. I am capable of going out and shooting an amazing round, and most of my golf game comes down to my mental state. But I honestly, maybe part of me doesn't want to like work that hard to get better at it, because like you're saying with like getting paid to do music, you don't find joy in it anymore.
Right.
I find a lot of joy in golf right now because it doesn't feel like a task. It feels like a pleasure and a privilege to be able to get out and golf.
That's 100%. And to just piggyback on what you were saying, a lot of people started golfing during COVID.
Yeah.
And the response that I get from a lot of people is it was the only thing open. Well, listen, maybe. But here's what it did. You'd go in, the world was collapsing. Your brain was overloading. You didn't know if you were going to die.
Yeah. Or kill your family by going to play golf with some guys.
But when you stepped into the golf course and you started playing and you were inside the gates of the golf club, all the bullshit that was happening outside somehow went away. And people go, this is life again. And that's what they stuck to. Now, on top of that comes the performance issue of bettering yourself, of playing a game that requires effort, and you're testing yourself. But the reason that people liked it, it wasn't because it was the only thing open. It was because you tuned out everything that was going out in the world that was stressful and
scary.
Yeah. And to this day, you walk into that golf course, you don't know anything that's going on outside. You're focused on every shot, whether you're playing for $1, $100, or $0. You want to focus on the moment and enjoy it. And that's the reason why people are in love with golf and they continue to play it. And it's just this detachment. We started this conversation talking about Rams Hill and detachment. You can go to Rams Hill, you can go to San Dimas, or you can go to Sousa Greens. You get on the golf course, you hit a ball, and everything goes away.
Exactly.
It's the best.
And I got one more quick story.
Sure.
That's okay.
Yeah, of course.
I brought this golf ball for this story. And speaking on Marshall Canyon, where you had the skins game, right?
Okay.
And this is what we're talking about right here.
Sure.
I believe in signs from the universe and,
All right.
shit reminding me I'm on the right path and stuff. So my goddaughter gave me a dozen golf balls Christmas of like 2021, maybe.
Okay.
And they were Titleist 85.
Okay.
And I'm playing Marshall Canyon 3 months ago with my family. I mean, I lose a dozen golf balls in 2 rounds easily. So I had to have lost those golf balls probably 3 years ago. I'm playing golf, and I'm actually playing pretty well. Marshall Canyon. I'm playing pretty well. All my drives are finding the fairway. I think we get on like the 7th hole, which has that big mound, and then the green's kind of down below.
Yes.
Maybe it's 6, maybe it's 7.
Yes.
But I slice my drive into the shit, into the trees. There's like a truck parked over there, and I got to go find it. And I'm like looking for my ball. Don't find my ball. I find this other ball, and it's like sitting there, and I'm like thinking, oh, that's my ball. And I go to look at it. I'm like, Titleist 85. Oh, that's cool. I've had those in the past, right?
Yeah.
And I look at it. Mind you, it's from my goddaughter. Merry Christmas, Nino.
No way.
I'm not just lost. I'm hiding from Anthony. This was my golf ball that she gave me 3 years ago that someone obviously found. It has an initial JB on it and played with them for however long. And I find it 3 years later where I fucking sliced my ball out of bounds into Marshall Canyon.
So they were playing with it.
They were playing with it for a while. They lost it.
In the
And then
same spot.
I found it, you know?
Wow.
And I just thought that was such a cool experience.
That's crazy.
And like I said, like the universe sending me signs about being on the right path. I
Merry
was out
Christmas.
having golf with my dad, my brother, just having a good time. Not
You must
thinking
have
about
freaked
anything.
out when you
I
found
did
it.
freak. I'm like, what does it mean? What the fuck does it mean? You know? And so I brought that home. I called my goddaughter, who's now 21 and goes to Arizona State University, and I tell her, and she's tripping out. The whole family. I told everybody about it.
That's insane.
But, you know, my wife thought it would be a good idea if I brought this.
I
and
love
told you
that. I
story,
love
but
that.
I
Tell
thought it
your
was
wife
really
thank
cool.
you for thinking of it,
Yeah.
even though you didn't. But
Yeah,
thank you.
exactly.
Thank you for thinking about that. I think that's a great story. And I think that's a great way to wrap this up. Tiki Tone, you're the best, brother. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you telling stories. And I look forward to many, many more years of you being involved with us. And we'll do this again in the
Absolutely.
future. And we'll have even more stories
Yes.
about golf and life.
I want to thank
And
you also. Give me one more.
Thank you, brother. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Let's wrap this the way we always do, because we got to do it. And I love these guys for it. Here's just another way that golf has brought us all together. Frankie from Michelada Golf.
Love
we
Frankie
you.
Michelada,
Thank you
by
so
the way.
much for this. And of course, our brother Nate from San Dimas Liquor and Freeway Liquor, the greatest liquor store on the planet. Have you been?
Yeah.
You've been.
Yeah.
Everybody's been.
Yeah.
San Dimas
I lived
Liquor.
in San Dimas for a time, and that was my liquor store.
Oh, that's the greatest.
Yeah, and I'm
It's
pretty
the
sure
greatest.
Nate worked there.
Nate worked there? Did you work there then?
Yeah.
He was the guy in the back.
He always
San
had that
Dimas
beard.
Liquor, Freeway Liquor, San Dimas, and what's the other city? I'll never remember that. Freeway Liquor in West Covina off the 10 freeway, conveniently located off the 10 freeway.
Where the 10, 210, and 57 freeways meet.
Raging waters. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jimmy. This is Tiki Tone. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next Friday. Nate, I forgot to hit record.
You're lying.